Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to learn everything about Python lists. But first, please hit that thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribed to get notified about future content. Now with that out of the way, let's get into it. So what is a list? A list is simply a collection of data. They can be virtually any type of variable such as an int, float, string, or even other lists. Additionally, they can contain other Python objects. So how do we create a list? Well, there are two ways to create them. The first is using the function list with variables in the parentheses. The other and probably more common way is to simply use bracket notation. Now let's create a simple list using bracket notation called months, and let's store the first 6 months as strings. To see the items in the list, we can simply type print months. Here we will see a printout of all the months in our list. Next, let's look at all the ways we can slice and extract data from this list. The first way is to simply select an item based on the index value. Keep in mind, Python uses 0 as the first element when you're selecting something. So say you wanted the third value in the list. We would simply type month 2, since 2 is the third value, 0, 1, 2. Indexing can also work in the reverse way by simply using the negative sign. Say we wanted the second to last element in the list. We would just need to type month -2. This can come in handy if your list constantly grows, but you always need to reference a specific item at the end of the list. Now that we've covered indexing, let's expand on that by looking at slicing. Instead of indexing the values, we can actually slice it by typing :2. When slicing, we use the colon to tell Python to return all the values up to but not including the value after the colon. Since we use 2, it'll return the first 2 elements of the list. Likewise, if we put the colon after 2, this will return every element in the list after the second item. Like with indexing, you can also use negative values to reference slices. Now let's look at 2 other ways of slicing. Say we wanted to reference the 2nd through 4th month in the list. We would simply type month 1:4. Remember, Python indexes everything at 0, so the second item is number 1. We want to go up to but not include the 5th element, which would be index number 4. This should return February, March, and April. Next, let's say you wanted to reference every nth element. This is where you would type month : and some number. The double colon tells Python to skip over every n elements in the list. So say we wanted to see every 3rd month. We would simply type month : 3. This would return January, and then the 3rd month would be April. Now that we've covered some of the most common ways to select items from a list, let's look at some other common methods on how to manipulate lists, the first being append. Once a list is created, if we need to add an element to the list, we simply type the list name.append and include the element to be added to the list. In this case, let's append August to our list of months. Another common method is sorting. Simply type month.sort to alphabetically sort the list. Next, let's say we want to remove the last element from the list. All we would need to type is month.pop, and this will remove the last element in the list. Lastly, let's say we need to remove a specific element from the list like February. We can just type month.remove Feb. Now if we print the list, we'll see that February is no longer included in the list. That about sums it up. Here you have the basics of what lists are and how to use them. You should have the basic understanding on how to select and slice data from a list, along with how to use a variety of methods associated with the lists. I hope this video is helpful. If it was, again, please like and subscribe. Until next time.